You're looking at two of the most popular 45 caliber semi-automatic handguns on planet Earth. I can't speak for the rest of the galaxy, but on this planet, these are two of the ruling firearms that chamber the 45 ACP, the 1911 and the Glock 21. And we're just going to take some shots with them. How's that? Yeah, buddy, 1911 Series 80 Colt, that's one of them. Here we have the Glock 21 ready to go. Let's put another one through that. Oh yeah, we felt like that door had not been shot quite enough yet. Okay, Glock 21, 1911. We're going to do a little comparison with the Glock and the 1911. I guess it's been done before, but you know, I've not done it. I've not given you my impressions, and you know, I feel left out if I haven't. These are two of my very favorite firearms, and you know, they represent, wow, just a vast population. You know, both of these guns do combined. The 1911, we know it, don't we? This is the year of the 1911, and it all started back in 1911 with that baby right there, and of course even before that with the development of it. All steel for the most part. There are some now, of course, alloy frames and even some polymer versions in the frame, I believe. But we're gonna compare the more traditional 1911 with the Glock, which is pretty representative of the newer polymer breed of firearm, a semi-automatic pistol, of course. There are other good guns, great guns, you know, chambered in the 45, the M&Ps, and the XD-Ms, and just lots of them. You've seen quite a few of them right here at the compound shooting table. But we're going to compare with the Glock. You know, I like the Glock as well as anything. So let's just, before we shoot them a little bit more, let's look at some of the differences. A lot of you that have both these guns, I'm not really telling you a lot, but yeah, a lot of people don't have both of these guns, and maybe you're thinking, well, I know they are. I get a lot of questions about it. First of all, let's just compare the obvious with the 1911, and this is a government model configuration, 5-inch gun. This is the big Glock, of course. And there are other sizes of the Glock. There are other sizes of the 1911. But, you know, for example, we've got the other, you know, a smaller size. We got a Glock 23 here, which we'll kind of look at a little bit. So you can get Glocks in all sizes. You can get 1911s in all sizes. The thumb safety is one of the big differences in terms of practical reality application. When I put this Glock in my holster, let's say it's cocked, ready to go. When I reach for it, it's just pull it and shoot, bang, like a double action revolver. Okay, with a 1911, you have a different operation. Thumb safety needs to be on. This holster's for a Glock, of course. I pull it, I've got to get that thumb on the safety, deactivate it, bang. Okay, that doesn't sound like too big a deal. It's big. It's big. It's another step. Of course, if you're trained in it, you know, it's not a big deal necessarily, but the Glock is more like a double action revolver, which ruled for decades and decades and decades. You just pull and shoot, pull the trigger, shoot. Okay, very similar to that. All right, so in terms of the manual operation, that's one of the big differences, I think, one of the very biggest differences, okay, from a practical standpoint. Now, in terms of weight and size and all that, we're going to give you a little bit on that. We're not going to get too nerdy here, but of course, you have an external hammer, you have a single action trigger, so once you have it cocked, it doesn't take much to pull it, depending on what kind of trigger you have. This is Series 80, it's a pretty nice trigger. And the Glock, the safe action trigger, I am not going to get in that argument of whether the Glock is a single or a double or a safe action. I'll let other people hash that out. It is a striker fired mechanism, and it is more of a single action once it's cocked, you know, but I like it, whatever you want to call it, whatever Glock wants to call it. Okay, so that's a little bit about the trigger. You got the striker fired mechanism, and the size and weight I think are pretty significant, at least on these models. Now if you want to shoot a 45 in a Glock, unless you go with a really small Glock 36, which is a very small gun with very limited capacity, some people love it. I had one. I'm not crazy about it. Maybe I would like it better now. It's been several years since I've had one. I got one the month they came out back in the day. But as far as a big full-size gun, this is a fairly valid comparison, at least with the Glock. Let's look at the size here. Now, if you have been just thinking about buying one of these two guns, let's just do the slide, thickness of the slide, okay? There, we got it. Okay, there's the slide on the Glock 21. There's the slide on the 1911. Wow, look at the difference. So I don't know if you knew that. Many of you did, I'm sure. But it's significant, okay? Very significant difference in the thickness of these two guns. This gun shoots, you know, sweet. I mean, it's just a sweet shooting gun. It feels good, doesn't recoil a lot. Partly because it has that big slide, heavy slide. Same size, thickness as the Glock 10mm, the 20. Now, if you want to compare with a mid-size gun, or the 40 or the 9, I know we're kind of getting into apples and oranges and everything else here, but that's okay. We'll just kind of give you an idea. You might be thinking about a carry gun or a range gun or whatever, and you're not sure about the sizes and weights and some of these things. And people say the Glock 23 is a great gun and all that, and you don't even know if it's any different than a 21. Well, you notice the 23 is not nearly as thick as the Glock 21. Now it is. Well, let's take it off. Let's check the thickness here. Let's squeeze it on in. Okay, on the slide of the Glock 23, and that's the same as the Glock 19. And look at that. It's still thicker than the 1911. So the 1911 is going down. You don't get really much thinner than a 1911 for a 45. See, it won't fit. And of course, they're all the same. Yeah, 1911's a 1911. So you might have picked up a 1911 somewhere in a gun shop. Oh man, that's kind of a heavy gun. That's a big gun, you know. And it is. It does strike you as pretty heavy and a hefty gun and everything, handful. But you might not have realized that that slide is very, very, very thin, even thinner than a Glock 19 or Glock 23 or Glock 26 or 27, the baby Glocks, or you know, any of the Glocks. So that's just something to file away there in your memory banks. All right. Now. And I always make a big deal out of that because that makes it go into an inside the waistband holster much more easily, that kind of thing. Generally, it's a little bit heavier. Let's check the weight here before we break them down. Again, I don't know. You're thinking about maybe a government model. You're thinking about a big Glock. Let's put a magazine in here. We've got one here that's got 13. They're all, yeah, fully loaded magazine. Glock 21. Okay, we're going to see what it weighs. And we have a fully loaded 8-round magazine and a standard, you know, government model. All right, let's compare weight. Yeah, get in the right mode here. Okay. Now, we don't have anything in the chamber. 2 pounds, 12. Yeah, 12 ounces and a quarter. Let's put it down again. 2 pounds, 12 ounces. Okay, 2 pounds, 12 ounces you're carrying on your hip with 8 rounds of 45, 230 grain. 2 pounds, 12 ounces was it? Here we got 2 pounds, 7 ounces, 7.5. Okay, 2 pounds, 7.5. All right, so we have, yeah, some difference there. You know, 5 or 6 ounces, and we have 13 rounds versus, you know, 8. That's pretty significant, isn't it? If we put, let's see, let's take 5 out of that, so we have 8 rounds in that Glock just for kicks. See what that weighs. So we're packing 8 rounds, 2 pounds, 3.75 ounces. Yeah, so they're about amount lighter. I don't know if you wouldn't just carry it with 8 in it, but just for grins and giggles there, see the difference. And that's with that big, thick slide. So of course it's because you got the polymer frame, right? So just a little info on the weight and the thickness, just so you have an idea. Some of you live in places where you don't have as much access, maybe gun shows and different guns, and to look at them. Now, just also while we're at this, let's put in a, let's say you're trying to decide between a 1911 or a Glock 23, for example. And that is a valid choice. It would be for me. It is for me. I like a 1911. We know what we've got with a 1911. We've got, again, with a full magazine, we have 2 pounds, 12 ounces. We have 8 rounds. Okay. Let's, here's a, oh, that's a wrong caliber. Let's, I had one there. Let's put a, let's see, we need one more in it, but not a big deal. We can put 13 in a Glock 40. Okay. See, the 1911 was 2 pounds, 12 ounces, right? That's 1 pound, 15 3/4. Okay, almost 2 pounds. So this gun is significantly lighter than the 1911. Now, again, that might be apples to oranges to some extent. I should have like a commander size gun to really compare, but this gun would be lighter with 13 rounds, 40 caliber, pretty effective, and a really shootable little gun. So, and that's not the subcompact that I'm so fond of. That's a 23. That's a pretty good sized gun. So weight could be an issue for you. Just wanted to give you some idea about that. Thickness, weight, operation, and let's quickly show you the inside here. But first, you know what? I'm going to shoot this thing some more. Aha, yeah. You know what? We have so much ammo, we are definitely going to shoot. We have put most of it, not all of it, of this ammo that was donated by ammoforsale.com in magazines, and we are ready to shoot it up. We, you know, we used a lot of it with the Ruger and the SR 1911 and with the ATI, and we decided we were neglecting some other favorite 1911s like our Series 80s and of course the Glock 21. And we might even fire a shot or two with the old World War II Colt. So, all right, lots of nice targets out there. Let's wear them out. Right one. Whoa! Yeah, man, that's a sweet one, I'll tell you what. Gaston knew what he was doing. Yeah, that will work quite well. This is tough work, but somebody's got to do it. All right, big 45 caliber. What do we want to shoot next? Oh, a table. Worn out TV tray. It will definitely be worn out now. No doubt about that. Faulty gas can. Woo! Sweet, sweet. I have more ammunition. I have pockets full of it. All right. I want to work on that door some more. We might cut it off, we'll see. We'll give the old college try anyway. We got one side off. Yeehaw! Oh, that's too much fun. All those magazines, and I'm out of ammo. I got to go back and find some more ammunition. You know, this is a lot of work. I hope you all appreciate the work that we're going through for you. You know, shooting these old 45s, you know, it's tough work. I hate doing it. You know, wow. Sweet, sweet. Look at those empty magazines. Emptying magazines, that's just work. Nobody likes doing this, you know, right? Okay. What a baby. I love that thing. Okay. Get these empties out of the way. What do you think? Time for the other one? I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's show you a couple other things while we're empty, sort of. 1911. Okay. Let's just look at the inside if it's not too hot, and give you a look at some of that. We'll break John's down here and just maybe leave it broken down. So, another difference between these two guns, of course, is in the way, you know, they break down. And again, many of you know it, some of you don't, and some of you sort of know it. So, let's show you the Glock, of course. If you've never broken a Glock down, pull back that slide a little bit. Ooh, got levers. She might be too hot to break down. There we go. So I'm going to slide off. Recoil spring out in the barrel. Boom. She's field stripped. Okay. You've seen that many times probably. There are a lot of good videos about field stripping and all that on YouTube. Well, the 1911 is a little different. You get the spring plug out there. Okay. Like that in. Slide stop. Try not to lose anything here. Alright, and the main recoil spring, guide tube, bushing, barrel bushing, and the barrel slides out. It's not a big problem either. You know, if you're an ex-military person from you know, days gone by, I think you were probably even trained to do that in your sleep, or in the dark. Not in your sleep, in the dark. Maybe in your sleep. I don't know. But it's not a lot different. But as you can see, it's a little more complex. These designs are they're different, but you know, all of these modern guns, they really evolved from John Browning. You get right down to it, and the way they operate. Just a simplified is what it comes down to. Different materials, machining that maybe is a little bit more precise than at least in the old days, you know, with all the computerized machining equipment and everything. So I could take any Glock barrel and, whoops, throw it around. I could take any Glock barrel that I wanted to, I think it's pretty hot, and stick it in this gun. I could have all of you mail me your Glock 21 barrels, throw them in here, and this thing would just, one after another, would function flawlessly with any one of them. The measurements are so precise. And as far as that goes, probably even with 1911 these days. But that's the simplicity of the Glock. And you have, of course, the striker fire trigger. You don't have a hammer. You know, you got a different operation there. We do have the similar. Let me pull this magazine over here. I'm not going to do a lot of nerdy comparisons here, but you've got your, on the Series 80, the firing pin block there, which you also have on the Glock. You know, you have that as well. And slide's a slide. You know, not dramatically different. And you don't have the link on the barrel, of course, which you don't have even on the Browning high power and some of the newer designs with that either. So this would probably be closer to the Browning high power in design in some ways, because that was a later design than the 1911. But easier to break down, quicker to break down. As far as breaking down the frame, it's easier as well. I am not going to do that today, I'll tell you that. The Glock, I break the frames down occasionally and give them a good cleaning. And I have broken down 1911 frames and everything without the trigger and the mainspring and all that. And I'm not that good at it, I'll tell you. I'm tempted to say some bad words when I take one of these down. You know, again, because I don't do it very often. There's some tricks I've not learned, I guarantee you. But anyway, 1911 broken down. A few more parts, a little more complex, but not a lot. They both work. That's the main thing. Let's see if I get these back together here. Get all the Glock parts back in the Glock and the 1911 parts back in the 1911. They're both great guns. That's the bottom line, isn't it? They work. We've not had any malfunctions yet. We might have something today. We are firing factory ammo, and we have one round in here somewhere we lost track of. We weren't going to. One of these S&B rounds. You know, again, these are all from the ammo for sale.com contribution. One of them was left out here on the table for a whole week of rainstorms, and I had it separate for a while, and I don't know what happened to it, but it's in here somewhere. It's in a magazine. I don't really expect any trouble. I have experimented with that before. It takes a lot to kill a round. Let's say it's 1911 time. Yeah, let's shoot a little 1911. Let's put some of these mags in the Glock mag pouches. Like I say, this is tough work, but somebody has to do it. It's a big sacrifice, having to shoot all these rounds. I had another magazine. You know where those rounds would be if I'd known that. Alright, shoot a few. Okay. Let's shoot this baby. Alright, 1911. Let's see if it'll shoot. Yeah, it'll shoot. Not as many times before reloading, but it will shoot. Feels good, feels good. Let's throw a few rounds out there at the gong. This gorgeous gun. Alright, passed the gong test. Alright, we got a few more here. More ammo, more ammo, more ammo. Those animals, you never know what they're going to do. I wasted a round on him. He started falling and I didn't know he was falling. Well, I'm out of ammo already. Whew. Tell you what, I need to get something that's belt fed, don't I? These keep running out. Whoops. PM9 mag, I don't think that'll work. Anything I have in my pockets today. Oh, there was a magazine. There was two magazines. Wow. Actually, I did have a couple, didn't I? Okay, we got all the magazines loaded back up that we could. We have all the ammunition in magazines. All right, so we're ready to play again. Look at this pocket full of magazines, pouches full. It's a lot of work, but yeah, I'm willing to do it for you. All right, let's play some more. Let them fall. We've got so many magazines. We'll pick them up later. I want to work on that door some more. Yeah, I see a bad guy through the door there. getting chewed up. If I'd aim a little bit, it might not take as much ammo. Alright, we're creating a nice hole anyway. Let's go across the hill for a minute and give it a break. Okay. I almost couldn't see him. All right. More ammo, yes. Okay, Mr. Turkey. Boom. Oh, this is too much fun. Let's put a few more on that door. I think I'm shooting mid-air here. Okay. Might have to get a little different angle here. See. Let's see. Yeah, that's hard. I see the problem. Really hard. Okay. Well, let's back up here. He might not. Yeah, there's a really thick piece of metal there. It might take a AK-47 or something to cut that off. I didn't realize that. Who knew VW would actually have steel in the door? Oh well, that's all right. We got some more targets. All right, we're running low on ammo though. Like I said, with the Glock, there's no safety. No external thumb safety. Always have the safety up here though. Alright, let's back up a little bit. Oh no. One magazine with my Glock, baby. I hate that. One little mag. Alright, let's play on the tree a little more. Sweet. All right. Let me make sure. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes I discover a magazine lurking that I forgot about. But we have a few more for this one. All right. Yeah. More big bullets, although we're running out of them. The last 3 magazines. So sad. So sad. So sad. Oh. Well, I keep thinking I'm out of ammo. I was out of ammo. Okay, I got one more. Woo! Too much work. Guess what though? We saved one special magazine. This is all we have left from the ammoforsale.com donation. Let's make sure. That's 40 stuff there. We were maybe gonna shoot. We won't shoot that. Okay. and we have reserved it for this special baby, the World War II Colt. All right, you've seen this beauty. We're going to fire it a couple times. I want to make sure we didn't miss on the last shot with this baby. Yes, when you're talking about 1911s, you know, it doesn't get any better than that one, does it? And then, of course, the old trustworthy Glock. You know, everything worked, didn't it? Everything worked. Again, hodgepodge of magazines. I guess I should be saying the same thing about my Glock magazines. You know, I've had some of those for a long time, too. Of course, they tend to run forever. But the Glock 21, the Glock 45, and the 1911, a couple of really popular and very nice 1911s. We wanted to give you a look at there and just do a little comparison, give you kind of a feel for what you got with each one. Many of you have both of these guns, so you didn't really learn a lot. Maybe you just you know, saw me throw a lot of lead. But if you haven't held some of these, or you haven't broken them down, you're not really you know, sure what the differences are. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea. They both shoot really well. If I had to choose one, it'd be a tough choice. I kind of lean towards the Glock for just shooting. You know, if there's a zombie attack coming across the hill, 4 or 5 of them, you know, it's hard to beat that thing, the way it shoots so well, the capacity, reliability of it. But then again, you know, these things, they do great too. So I don't really declare a winner. I like them both, 1911 and the Glock, as you well know. So anyway, I've had a lot of fun, and I've thrown a lot of lead today, so I'm glad you could be here at the compound to kind of experience it with me. So life is really good.